everyone a big welcome. Welcome to the Lighthouse, the House of Light, a One Light Federation church based in Melton, Victoria, Australia. And if you are returning or brand new, no matter, welcome. And we trust that you enjoy this special time with us as we link with the divine. Welcome, Jenny.
Yes, welcome. Welcome, everybody. And I know this presentation, this service will be uplifting, indeed.
Yes, very uplifting. When we bathe with, and we know we are with the highest, it's always uplifting, is it not?
It is.
And being uplifting, we always get proceedings, and I say proceedings because it's not only today for the service, it's all the time when working with Spirit. Because it's a blessing, we're working with the highest, so the normal respect is, we open with prayer, we set up spiritual protection, employ the Lord's Prayer, and thus we know we are linked with the highest. And what a blessing. So friends, will you now join with us as indeed we bring forth prayer, set up our protection, and then we have the joy of Jennifer sharing today's wisdom communicated from the highest of Spirit. You will join us? Wonderful, thank you. Thank you. Almighty, loving and eternal God, great and supreme Spirit, Lord Jesus Christ. Our dear friends of the highest, what joy really fills our heart. But not only our heart, our essence and our entirety. And as we lift and raise our vibration, we reach out and embrace you, the highest. We very humbly give thanks. Very sincerely, we give thanks for all your blessings, for your love, understanding, encouragement, support, protection, upliftment, for your healing, which you so freely and readily bring forth with such love, such adornment, helping all those on our respective healing lists, those across the earth's broad surface in need. And we thank you for the relief of the pain, the suffering, the sickness, the illness, as we thank you likewise for the healing of our beautiful planet, Mother Earth, and indeed all forms of life. For everything is perfect in God's kingdom. And as we give thanks for your blessings, let it be that this day and all the days that follow again set forth in perfection, so that we too can join with you in support, love. And this is our prayer with love. Amen. I am a furnace of light, and I radiate and project my light, my love, my power, my strength, my might. Throughout this home, over all this land, to the fence lines and beyond, and deep into the earth, and high into the heavens. And I transmute and transform all energies to love and light. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Leave us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you. Now, Jenny, I know you've been so busy and absorbed this morning already before this broadcast, communicating with the highest of spirit. So I know you have an encyclopedia to share.
Yes. So it has been a very busy morning. So Spirit said this morning, I come to the fore, for it is time to generate further news and wisdom. All that is to be will be. We fire up the resources and have turned up the heat. for the highest are beaming their love and providing accurate guidance so as to prepare you for the greater plan.
Very positive.
There is a rise in the controversy, people gaining strength and doing it in numbers so as to provide scare tactics. So keep your spirits high and aim for divine light to shower all on display.
There's great wisdom in there, isn't there?
There is.
Great wisdom. So it's kind of like a warning, isn't it? Telling us that the controversy is there, but there are those gathering to lessen or to pull down. If we read
but it's
that
also
correctly.
to make sure that we
Yes.
are positive and bathing in our light and doing what we can by showering and being one with the divine so that we can bring further light, further wisdom, further hope,
That's
further peace.
That's the real message and the encouragement.
So that's why Spirit said, keep your spirits high and aim for divine light to shower all on display, because we become one with this divine light. It is about the unification of spirit, as always. We always come back to unification. So it is as we unite with that divine light that will then bring forth a greater power and strength. So the battleships leave the shore for new shores, new lands of bounty, and they find more than they could imagine. Enriching scenes of great harvest and beauty abounds. Stay uplifted, connected, and aligned with higher vibrations. Speak openly, inquire with delight, and be open to recommendations.
Beautiful.
So there's so much happening in the world. And so then further communication. And all matters of interest have come into view. We see the greater times are aligned and are of truth. And the sky is clearing, for there is more to see than what meets the eye. Trust in the process and give way to inspiration. Sometimes we feel out of reach, but we need to recognize the signs. For when we feel we are falling behind, it's just that we are not on path, not focused on the primary target. So again, we must remember that the more that we stay focused on where we are going and continue to send that healing energy and love and inspiration and integrity to our pathway, then we will meet it when we arrive. That is what is so important. It's always remembering where we are going, remembering our destiny. You have to have an understanding too. This has come forth from spirit. And so this is really the first time I'm reading it as well. So it's so interesting reading this.
But it's like, Jenny, as you made that comment then, isn't it that so many times with spiritual writings, and we've both experienced this, and this is again the beauty of working with the highest of spirit. We can read over something, we can even teach it, and then we'll go back and read it, and there's something extra.
So many gems and pearls and
layers
of wisdom,
layers, yes.
in the wisdom that comes forth. So it is a blessing that we have this. And as I said, so after I've done my communications, and then we come and sit and it's handed, Gordon prints it, and then it's handed to me. And so as I said, this is the first time I've read it too. But sometimes what happens is as I'm reading it, I can have a memory of the vision. So I hold on to vision rather than the words that I've spoken, because as they're coming forth through me, I'm not aware of what I'm actually saying as in a whole message, if you can understand that.
What a beautiful gift that you can bring that vision in as well.
So it comes forth without me stopping in my tracks to have an understanding, but I am aware of certain visions that come forth with the message. So it's beautiful to read this again. It's wonderful. So Spirit also spoke about communication, and I remember this this part of the reading about the communicate, because I was aware of the beautiful vision of a white column of light. And I knew that this was spirit communicating in relation to our spirit of who we are, seeing ourselves as the clear divine light, knowing that when we are aligned with the highest, we are that clear, perfect, pure light. And as we communicate with this light, we are absorbed in it. And I was so aware that I felt light, so weightless, just pure divine light as Spirit was speaking. So this is a memory that I had from this morning. Communicate with thyself and align with the greater aspects of who you are, and you will receive what you need rather than what you want. When you trust that God has your back, you trust what is delivered to your feet and stop questioning and believe it is for highest good. And this will cause less pain, and growth will just be paramount, because you will let go of the pain of what you want. That's what Spirit is speaking about here. It's to let go, knowing that sometimes what we want is not what we need. We have to trust that our spirit team, our higher self, the higher vibration that is working for us, remember to be on the right path to get us to the destination, to help us reach our goal, our purpose of living. So sometimes we have to trust and accept that it is not what we want that's going to help us get there. And we need to take the path that will help us get there, but to achieve it and to be who we are meant to be in the right vein. Which means we can't take shortcuts sometimes. We must go through certain experiences, and sometimes they are not comfortable. But we needed that experience because we're going to need it in the future. So sometimes we can't understand why this has taken place. Why do I have to go through this pain, this heartache, this separation? Because you need the experience and to have an understanding of that, to help you have an understanding when you arrive at your destination. When you arrive at that sacred space, that sacred place, which is your purpose of life. So then you are equipped. So we learn to trust, and trust is so valuable. So when we trust that God has our back, when we trust that all that falls to our feet is what we need to grow, to become stronger, to become more aligned with the higher vibration, we learn. But it is up to you how quickly you learn, because you must put aside differences that are only going to keep eating away at you. You must accept, forgive, and let it go, and stop holding on to past hurts, past grudges. Remember, life is too short for that. You don't want to get to the next hurdle or to the next stepping stone, to the next part of your life, and still be carrying the baggage and the burden. It's time to let it go and to be free from it. Work harder at yourself. Become more aware of what is happening within your body. Become more aware of your thought pattern. Become more aware of the sweetness that is just there. And it really is tempting you and inspiring you and encouraging you to rise above. Always remember, when we rise above, when we look above, we see it with clarity, with a higher perception. So then we see the bigger picture. We're not just bathing in the doom and gloom, or the sickness, or the frustration, or the anxiety. We are allowing ourselves to get above it and to have an understanding of, okay, this is where I am right now, and I don't like it. How can I change it? And you're the only one who can. You must take the reins of your life and have a go. It is time for you to take the reins and to stand. Oh, sorry. I'm just aware of my guide giving me the thumbs up. So yes. Thank you.
This is live action.
So my guides are here as my supporters, and because this is their word, remember. So I'm delivering their word, and so they are impressing upon me further words that aren't written here, what I'm giving you now. And so again, they're here giving me the thumbs up to say, keep pushing this, because it is so needed for people to take action, to be so aware of what is taking place around you in your life. But you must be responsible for it and recognize that you can improve things. You're the only one who can change it. Everybody else around you will support you in the change. Understand? Allow Spirit of the Highest to move in, but you must call them in. Call in the higher vibration. I'm in my ball of light and I call forth my higher vibration to assist me in rising into being the true expression of my higher light, of the greatest aspect of who I am. I am pure, I am loving, and I see with clarity all that needs improving, polishing, and then this will then take place. So Spirit said, so growth obviously will come. And so growth, and when you truly remember that you are being watched over, and at the right time you will be delivered into where you need be, whether it be to the right conversation or in front of the right people. So sometimes you are just there, you know, when you hear that saying, I was in the right place at the right time, because of course, Spirit helped you get there. Spirit helped that happen, meaning your guides initiated it. They made sure that you heard something. They made sure that you were there to see. They made sure that the right person came forth so that you could receive the blessing, the gift, the pearl, the gem, the jewel, whatever you want to call it. It is a gift from Spirit to help you on your pathway of righteousness, to help you achieve, to succeed your purpose, your journey, your goal, your mission. Again, whatever you want to call it, it is victory. It is you living for a purpose and then you embracing that purpose with all your might, because you are willing it. You have, with your responsibility, said, yes, I am ready. Yes, bring the right people to my feet, to my ears, to my eyes, and then I will deliver my light to the pathway of the blessing for the highest good of all. And we will then cheer on, indeed. And the chorus of angels gather, and they congratulate you indeed, for they have an understanding of your flight. They have an understanding of your fight within yourself to achieve, to stand in the glory of your own light. They understand where you have been. They understand the challenge, the hurdle, the difficulties. Yes. It is known. Trust that you are embraced with love. Trust that there is a future that will provide you with such light, happiness, and peace. Stay positive. Stay in tune. And it will be delivered to you. So be who you are born to be and never give up. And Spirit continued, the doors are opening. It is to know and remember to never give up, just like me this morning. As the first part of the tuning came forth this morning, it was flowing and then it stopped and then it started again, and I continued doing what I know in the sense of prayer, aligning. I said the furnace a dozen times in between, just trying to get the flow, knowing that I had to come forth, for I only have minutes before I sit before you to read it. So it is indeed something that I know must come forth, and I trust it will. But again, I was congratulated, for I stood in my power. I trusted and I knew that this was Spirit in action. And here we are, delivering this wisdom. And I thank you.
We thank you.
Yes, we thank you.
Well done.
So windows of opportunity show themselves, and you feel the gentle breeze, and there's a knowing within that this is it. This is the right choice. Whether this is the right choice in relationships or in health issues, in career, it's the ideal time to sort out what comes and what goes. So Spirit are saying, you are on the pathway. You are so in your power. You know what needs to be let go. You know that you need to take the reins, take control, take charge. You know to call in the higher vibration. You know that you are now focused on all that needs your attention urgently, so as to lift you and to have you in a greater place, in a greater space with the divine. Do not lose sleep, for the more you trust, the more peaceful you are. There is a rise in free will and man taking advantage to will into action a peace offering. So Spirit's showing that peace comes forth. People are awakening more to their spirituality, having a greater understanding of eternal life, having a greater understanding of the generations to come forth upon the earth, which will be you again. So what are you leaving to yourself in the world? You have to have this understanding. Allow yourself to shower the earth with the divine, for you are awakened now, knowing that your blessings will benefit all who are present now and in the future. So recognize how important this is, this truth, and it is a truth. Allow yourself to be more open, to have a greater understanding of all that is of the divine. Allow the healing process to heal your mind, body, your spirit, your soul. Allow all of your essence to bathe in the richest vibration so that you have all the answers. And because you know that it is loving. It is a loving act to heal. It is a loving act to bathe and pray with the divine. More energy will be given to you so that you succeed. We need to remember that there are greater plans than the plan you are keeping. Sometimes, as said, what a beautiful line. So you have plans for yourself, but also remember God has plans for you. Your spirit team are preparing that plan. And deep down, you are aware that you feel this beautiful knowing, this sense that there is so much more coming. I can taste the sweetness. I can feel the excitement. And I am so ready for it because you know that your spirit team are working on that. Isn't it wonderful knowing that you are always encompassed by light, greater vibration that is greater and more vibrant than you, because this is spirit of a higher vibration encompassing you, healing you, preparing you. And sometimes our eyes aren't open, meaning we don't know, we can't see what our future holds. But in our heart, oh gee, we sense it, we know it. And the passion that rises just reminds you, we remember. We remember. And that is touching of the heart, because we wake up, because we remember that there is so much more to come forth, and we allow it. And we indeed step into the peace and the calm, and it is so uplifting. It is serene, and it is one with the divine. We find an empathy, and it carries us on a wave of light, and it glows, so that it is warming, so that it is healing, and so that it enters into your heart. And then the warmth of this light and love illuminates, and you are born. You are born of truth. And it is the birthing that is in process. and it awakens, and it lives, and it lives on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Mm.
The touch of Jesus.
Yes. Yes. Precious.
Thank you.
Precious.
Don't let it be a secret to yourself. Allow the quest to be fulfilled and be an enlightenment to win you over. Allow the truth of your soul to award you, regardless of the prize you accept. You have served, and service is the key. It is having the right approach to victory and staying in control of your thoughts so that you lead yourself. You are your own mentor. It's trying on garments so that you are prepared for every venture, equipped and confident with every role you perform, and so aware that you have the support of your team of spirit. You are a seeker of diplomacy, and the sky is the limit if you put into action all that you know is correct. Stop lying to yourself, and the best medicine is love, and it's your time to make it happen for you. So it really is your time. You can hear it in the words. You can sense it in your heart. You can feel it. Choose your words wisely and represent the highest by being of the highest and dwelling in that vibration, never losing sight of the glory. And I know these words, as I have now read them, have really touched my heart. And I'm sure that they have touched yours. So let it be now that, as shared, be responsible for allowing these words to permeate throughout your whole essence. Be active in spirit to cleanse and heal yourself. Allow the healing words to shower you, to cleanse you, and the clarity then will be with you. There is so much on offer. There is so much wisdom here, right now. Just allow yourself to bathe in it. Be true to yourself. You are so worth it. You are so loved by Spirit and God. Just allow yourself to embrace and to love yourself. Give yourself the time you need, and Spirit will give you the time. So thank you.
Thank you, Jenny, and thank you to your spirit team, including your guides who just, was that a goal symbol? You just kicked the goal. Yes, friends, our spirit team obviously reward us, the highest reward us. They show us the way, they show us the love, the light, but it's like a loving, nurturing parent. And those who are fortunate to be parents know what it's like to nurture, to foster the growth, the achievements, the development of the children, the young, to see them coming up, shining light, achieving. And when spirit work closely, and I'm talking obviously spirit of the highest, they so lovingly come through. We've heard Spirit speak through Jenny today, and Spirit communicating this morning, and then Jenny bringing all of this through. But only we know as individuals when we have achieved a wonderful work of art, so to speak, a wonderful achievement, as you have this morning. And you read and you relay, as we've heard, we've been privileged to do so. And what blessings.
Yes. Truly is blessing. And I know that you have more blessings.
Do I?
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, you must be psychic.
Yes.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Well, in actual fact, I have two very tough questions. Yes, unusual, isn't it? For me to have questions? That's not unusual at all.
Gordon always has a knack of pushing people out of comfort zones in the sense of having an understanding of growth. And sometimes we need that little encouragement, that little push.
I do them both at the same time.
But also, yes, exactly. But it's very good. And so allow yourself now just to be open and receptive.
Friends, you can always be assured it's done with love. But yes, I love teaching and to see the growth which results, even though it can be testing at times for me. So question one. Okay, bear with me. If you knew a woman who was pregnant and who already had 8 kids, 3 of whom were deaf, 2 were blind, 1 was mentally retarded, and the woman had syphilis, would you recommend that she terminate the pregnancy? Before answering the question, if it came time to elect a new world leader, but only your vote would count, whom would you select from the following 3 candidates? Candidate A associates with crooked politicians, consults with an astrologer, has had 2 mistresses, chain smokes, and drinks 8 to 10 martinis a day. Candidate B was kicked out of office twice, sleeps until noon, used opium in college, and drinks a quart of whiskey every evening. Candidate 3 is a decorated war hero, a vegetarian, doesn't smoke, drinks an occasional beer, and never cheated on his wife. Which candidate would be your choice? Candidate A, Franklin D. Roosevelt. Candidate B, Winston Churchill. Candidate C, Adolf Hitler. Surprising?
Very.
Indeed. Let's go back to the first question. If you said yes, abort the baby, that baby was indeed Beethoven. Sobering. It's interesting, is it not? And it makes us think before impulsively jumping in. Yet all too ready, we can find ourselves very quick to judge someone else, a situation, circumstance, and even then, people, situations, and circumstances about and upon which we have very little, if any, working knowledge. Yet even after being confronted with revelation upon such matters, many of us continue with this practice, this trait. But let's continue and imagine, if you will, working for a company that has just over 500 employees, and of which 29 have been accused of domestic abuse or violence, 7 have been arrested for fraud, 19 have been accused of writing bad checks, 117 have either directly or indirectly bankrupted at least 2 businesses, 3 have done time for assault, 71 cannot get a credit card due to bad credit, 14 have been arrested on drug-related charges, 8 have been arrested for shoplifting, 21 are currently defendants in lawsuits, 84 have been arrested for drunk driving. Well, may you ask the identity of this organization, and it may surprise you, for it's the 535 member United States House of Congress, as it was a few years ago. The same group that cranked out hundreds of new laws each year, designed to keep the USA in line. And I stress that my talk is neither political nor a commentary upon the USA. I only mention these factual stories this day by way of illustrating and emphasizing the themes of this my talk. For surely the items I have already detailed are sufficient to prevent us from ever judging again. And whereas we all have opinions, and we are well entitled to have opinions, the point still remains that it is not for us to judge others, simply because their opinions differ from those to which we subscribe. A teacher, someone experienced in a particular field, a learned person with great, considerable, but accurate knowledge, may seek to explain and teach in order to further spread knowledge, wisdom, and accuracy, along with greater understanding, in order to assist by way of education, and therefore help others, thus make informed decisions and have accurate understanding, but in the process of genuinely teaching, guiding, helping, and assisting. It is not that judging takes place, for we all know well that when we point the finger at someone else, the other fingers are pointing back at us. You understand? And none of us can deny that when seeking to teach, guide, instruct, and help others, it's not for us to impose our will, our values, our opinions, or our biases upon others. Because when teaching, helping, and guiding others, it is that we have been granted a privilege to be of help towards another. And hence it is for us to honor and embrace such privilege as a God-given opportunity, to be of help and to serve with love and with humility. And when done properly and genuinely, it is done with love and likewise with compassion, without judgment, but with a pure and sincere desire to help another learn, grasp, and understand, and to assist them to elevate to where their potential can be realized, in order to allow their God-given light to be seen by themselves and others. And this, dear friends, is something I have both witnessed and experienced. And this is where my talk this day be headed. And I wonder how many amongst those watching and listening at this point in time have indeed already judged and have commenced judging as to where I am headed or to where my talk be headed. For many are the occasions when we need not only display and demonstrate, but hold and have patience. My doctor went broke because he had no patience. Yes, patience. In order to comprehend and to gain and appreciate with accuracy the complete perspective, the true nature of situations, conversations, discussions. For again, if we jump in or go off half-cocked, we know well there will be ramifications and likely consequences. And this we have already discussed. Yet, throughout life, there will be some who will find they simply cannot let go of something. Just like a dog with a tasty bone. I say to you, and I remind you with love, don't judge another, lest you yourself be judged. And remember those immortal words of Jesus, "Let ye who is without sin cast the first stone." When Jesus taught, he did so gently. I know it well, I was there. When he taught, he did so gently. He did so with love. He did so with passion, in the sense of enthusiastically and lovingly teaching and imparting his message, knowing well that which he imparted was divine knowledge. He brought forth and shared for the betterment and the benefit of those gathered, and for those willing to listen and embrace, and likewise those genuinely wanting to learn, grow, elevate, and spiritually awaken, and even in the presence of his foes. He did not cower, back down, amend, or change his message. For love is love. Truth is truth. Honesty is honesty. And integrity is integrity. Just as faithfulness and loyalty are indeed paramount. And when he knew extra time and extra explanation were needed, in order to help and support greater understanding and embracing, he willingly gave, and never once did he walk away because he couldn't be bothered, or because he judged that those gathered were not worthwhile, or that it was a waste of his time. For he knew such actions and thoughts were not of love. And is it not that we all readily agree that love is the answer? So therefore, if love is the answer, what is the question? For we simply need ask, what would love do? To use the terminology fair weather friends seems to me to be a paradox. For a friend is a friend, and a friend is a friend unconditionally, and at all times, and that is the true meaning of friend. But a fair weather friend, someone who is a friend only when it suits them, and even then superficially, thus allowing themselves the freedom to back away when they sense that they need be forthcoming with help and support for another. Then is this love, loyalty, commitment, faithfulness, integrity? And in this situation, how would we act and respond? Would we walk away from another person, from other people, or from situations when we know that if we could only be bothered, our spiritual energy and light could well make a difference by lending additional and extra support towards those in charge, doing well and doing their best, but in need of support or of better support, but growing tired, giving their all, but who would welcome the opportunity to recharge their batteries and to refresh, having been drained and lovingly given for so long without much, if any, reward. And so, knowing our help, support, and or input would likely provide and aid the extra, even if the temporary assistance, which would truly make a positive difference, would we find ourselves disposed towards giving and providing that input and additional loving hand? Good question. This is a personal question for each of us to ponder, contemplate, and answer. And it is not for me to say which is the best approach, but I will say that one never knows unless one has a go. And indeed, many great things have come about quite unexpectedly and out of unexpected situations. And just as it is often said that God works in mysterious ways, I tend to think and believe it is not that God works in mysterious ways, but that God works with love and in loving ways, as did Jesus here on earth, and as indeed we can likewise. But the question for each of us to answer to ourselves is, do we wish to do so? We all have baggage. And I know, Jenny, you mentioned earlier about baggage. Yes, we all have baggage. Even the railway porters on the stations have baggage. We all have things in our backpack, and some things of which we are not necessarily proud. But what be there has contributed towards making us who we are right now, and towards bringing us to this point in time. But we know our true heart and essence, as God, Jesus, and those of the highest also know our true light and essence, because it's what's in here that matters. So whatever there be for us to learn at this particular time, let it be that we do so quickly and that we do so willingly and with love. So let it be that we learn to control our emotions, that we be actuated and activated with and by pure divine love, so that we defeat the enemy at will. So if you find a time to fight in order to shine your divine and God-given light, be prepared and have confidence in the knowledge and don't hold back. And just as some years ago, a little girl stood near a small church from which she had been turned away because it was, in inverted commas, too crowded. "I can't go to Sunday school," she sobbed to the pastor as he walked by. Seeing her shabby, unkempt appearance, the pastor guessed the reason she'd been turned away. But as would Jesus, the pastor, and I dare say we likewise, the pastor took her hand, found a place for her in that Sunday school. The little girl was so happy that the pastor found room for her, and when she went to bed that night, she thought of other children who had no place to worship Jesus. 2 years later, this sweet, innocent young child lay dead in one of the poor tenement buildings. Her parents called for the kind-hearted pastor who had befriended their daughter to handle her final arrangements. As her poor little body was being moved, a worn and crumpled red purse was found, which seemed to have been rummaged from the local garbage dump. Inside was found 57 cents and a note scribbled in childish writing, which read, "This is to help build the little church bigger so more children can go to Sunday school." For 2 years, she had saved for this meager but heartfelt offering of love. Wow. When the pastor tearfully read that note, he instantly knew what he would do. Carrying the note and the cracked red pocketbook to the pulpit, he relayed the story of her unselfish love and devotion, and he challenged his deacons to get busy and raise enough money for the larger building that sweet and innocent child had envisaged. But the story does not end there, for a newspaper learned of the story and published it, and it was read by a wealthy land developer who offered a parcel of land worth many thousands of dollars, and when told that the church could not pay so much, he offered to sell it to the little church for 57 cents. Church members made donations, checks came from far and wide, and as the time progressed, the little girl's unselfish love had paid very large dividends. For as of this day, that very site is in the city of Philadelphia in the USA, and that place of worship has a seating capacity of 3,300 people. Wow. So friends, with love and with encouragement, I say to you, never be afraid to try something new. And remember that amateurs built the Ark. Professionals built the Titanic. And so I sincerely pray that through my humble talk this day, and with love, I have helped you allow your divine and God-given light to come further to the fore, so as to be seen, displayed, and recognized by yourself and by others, and that you may feel more disposed towards standing firm in your light and in support of others and of the light, rather than walking away when there is work to be done for the beautiful and loving glory of Almighty God's divine light and mission. And may God and Jesus bless your footsteps as you advance towards and in support of this glorious mission. God bless you.
And God bless you. Truly beautiful, Gordon. So again, so much wisdom and so much to take on, you know, and I could feel with that beautiful story of that little girl, that
Yes.
heart-wrenching story. But look what her life purpose was to bring to the world, and it still continues.
Not only does it continue, but it provides far more than could ever have been predicted or estimated. Far more than anything could have been comprehended. The ramifications, enormous. But just imagine with the spreading of God's divine, loving light. If more of us did this, not with vested interest, but the interest purely of the divine, of love, of helping, of supporting, of nurturing, of encouraging, rather than greed, but to do so for the goodness of the planet, the goodness of others, the goodness of the message of love. Things would be so different. Love towards everyone, without exception. Yes, it's idealist, but it's practical and it's possible. But it's up to us to make it happen. And it's conveyed in this message here today. The words are there, the wisdom is there, the sentiment is there. We all have the ability just to shake our head, think, oh, too hard, walk away, and to leave a few to do the work. And this applies to spirituality likewise. We all have so much available to us, for it's not a case of go into situations, into organizations, and expect to take over and get the glory for it. It's to help and support each other, to be a loving, divine team in action. Hence our motto, unification of spirit. Unification of spirit. It's the coming together. This is the motto, yes, of One Light Federation. There is but one light. That's the light of God, God Almighty.
Yes. So much wisdom has come forth this day. And the wonderful thing is that you can listen again and again. Every time you go onto either Facebook or YouTube to hear the wonderful wisdom again. And Spirit have a strong message, and it is love, and it is sharing. But it is again about uniting with Spirit of the highest. Connect to the higher vibration, and you then become the expression of it. So with that said, as we now finish this service with so much love in our hearts, with the inspiration to shine more light and to do more, healing of self, healing of those around us, healing of the world, making it a better place. That is what we need to do. That is how we lift and raise the vibration so that all benefit. Remember, all that you provide when you are healing helps everybody else. Your prayers are heard. So as we now close in prayer, let it be that you move into your heart and really feel that love, feel the connection, feel the unity, knowing then that you are expanding your light, which then heals, cleanses, and radiates to the world. Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. Thanks, Jenny. So friends, will you join with us now for the closing prayer, as indeed we give thanks, and that is so important. Thank you. Almighty, loving and eternal God, great and supreme Spirit, Lord Jesus Christ, our dear friends of the highest, it is with immense gratitude, sincerity, faithfulness, and thankfulness that we very sincerely and humbly extend our immense gratitude, our complete satisfaction for having been satisfied within ourselves. We are content, and we know well that our mission awaits each of us, and that mission has been sanctioned and brought forth and placed by you, the highest, and that we have been so privileged and blessed that we have been called by you and called to serve and called to action. And as we spring into action, we thank you, for we know you are always by our side. You always have our back, and and you have everything already planned and set in place. Knowing, trusting, believing. Yes, we know you are with us and you are our support. And thus, as we give our thanks for that which has already been received this day and all days previously, we so look forward to continuing the journey which you have prepared and is now at our feet. And with love we say thank you. Amen. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Enjoy.
Thank you. And yes, friends, thank you to each of you for your faithfulness and for tuning in. Please take the liberty, if you will, of extending knowledge of our broadcasts to your friends, to those who may not know. Let them share in the light and encourage them likewise. And yes, you have been watching a live broadcast, and this is available to you on Facebook and YouTube, so you can look again at any time. The broadcast coming to you from the Lighthouse, the House of Light, which is a One Light Federation church located in Melton, Victoria, Australia. Thank you. God bless you.